Namaste. Peace and blessings, family.
Namaste.
So, we wanted to have this conscious conversation this evening because it came up in my heart regarding You Are Always Holy. And I was talking to my beloved, and he said, um, I was telling him that you are sacred. You are always holy in both states. And he was saying, you're holy in both states of mind. And he asked me, what are we pointing to? What is the pointing? And I had said, I want I don't want anybody to be attached of the idea or the image of what spiritual awakening enlightenment should be.
Yes.
I feel like there's always um, an idea or an image that people attach to spiritual enlightenment or spiritual awakening or spiritual teachers. Um, and I feel like it becomes a conditioning. It's an old conditioning from us, of course, because we're used to, attaching imagery to religious ideas. So when
Yes.
we're leaving those religious ideas and we're coming into finding ourselves and coming home, it's really easy to get programmed into imagery and ideas and concepts about how awakening should be, how it should look, how it should smell, how it should taste. And so I know a lot of people will say, well, you know, you're holy, you're spiritual, you're awakened now, so you should dress in all white and you should be vegan and you should do yoga and you should be so healthy and health conscious and it's like a new age type of spirituality, and it's not that at all. uh, Not saying that chanting and meditation and crystals and sage and incense are not useful tools in your awakening, but it's not in essence who you are. And we want to have this conscious conversation because um, there's so many spiritual teachers, gurus, pointers, masters, um, where
Seer.
we have sages,
Yes.
where we've been programmed, even in spirituality, to retain the image and to worship that, and they are holy and they are they're sacred and they are untouchable. They are walking in their light and they are experiencing no dark, and they are so surrendered, right? That they can't be they're not they can't be attached to the body,
Mm.
which is for me. This is why we're going to have this conscious conversation. For me, that's false, because we're living in this human experience, even though we are awakened and we can see and we know who we are. And I'm sure the messenger will have his own input in this, but I feel like when you start to idolize or you start to create imagery of somebody that is maybe a teacher to you, um, it could become another program of what you should be. A lot of people look at me and say, oh my gosh, Jess, your life is so perfect. You have the perfect family, your perfect children, perfect house, perfect husband, perfect job, perfect. That's because I created that for myself. But that doesn't mean that I won't slap the shit out of you. And I'm just being honest. I want to be real and authentic here because I am dancing with the divine. And that doesn't mean that that slap is not holy.
Yes, yes, yes.
That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that. I feel like the light and the dark are both one. They're from the same portal. They're both holy. You are always holy, regardless of what state you're in.
It is. It is all divine. It is all holy. The whole goal, or the whole mission of the guru or saint is to bring all beings back to God and realize that everybody is the God self in form, the beingness of God. But a lot of I don't want to say corruption, but a lot of misunderstanding, not listening with the heart, has made many servants or devotees to this image. And it is said, even by Ramana, Sri Ramana says that the Guru and God are one. So this can be misunderstood as, okay, only the Guru and God are one. But no, it is all conscious beings. Even what we call the animal kingdom is the beingness of God also. It is just that in the animal kingdom they haven't awakened to itself. You know, us as what we call human beings has awakened to our natural self, the awareness. But through much conditioning, right? Much conditioning throughout many moons, a lot of beings they cling to the image. They cling to Jesus. They cling to Buddha. They cling to our modern day sages and gurus. And it spoke about it spoke about Osho. Sri Moji Baba speaks about it. It's just you don't want to stay at the stage of devotee because you find yourself just doing positions like meditation and different positions, thinking, okay, I can only be present when I'm meditating. I can only be present when I'm doing yoga, and this is not it. You have to realize is that the being, the presence of God is always present. And this is what we're pointing to is that you, as the beingness of God, is always present. Even when you think that you're not, and most of the world think that they're not. We all conscious beings, it is a veil. And it is the thoughts that arise within us that keep us away from what is ever present. So it has to be let go. This attachment to the image and attachment to thoughts has to be let go, because if it's not let go, you stay in this state of I am this devotee. I can only be a servant to God, and God is kind of still separate from me, and this is not it. So the true guru, he points to what is true, the direct experience of being, the awareness in which never changes. And he points out what does change. Everything that is perceived around us, it changes. So the guru's goal is to bring you back to what doesn't change. And that is the presence of God. That is awareness, because awareness is a fact. As the whole, all beings, all I have to say, are you aware? And you can't deny it. It is an awareness that is just there. It is unchanging. And this is what you should be attached to. You should fall in love with awareness, fall in love with being aware. This is the only attachment. And you'll see, once you realize this is divine, you will see this is no attachment to it. This is just naturally who I am. I am just naturally awareness. You see that? And this is what we are pointing to. It is so very simple. And like I was saying earlier, the veil is only thought. Thought is very important to reality because it is thought that illuminates experience. So there's nothing wrong with thought. It is the attachment to the thought. It is the attachment to the image. You see that? And once these things are let go, and you notice that what's within is the formless, awareness is formless, then you become more, what we would say, enlightened. The knowing of yourself, knowing that God is present, it never changes. Okay, and this is what it is to know the truth. It is the practices. They say practice until you get it, but make it as simple as possible. You know, make it as simple as possible because it is simple. Meditation is mindfulness, walking in nature, and just being mindful and quiet without listening to thoughts creates a creates a detachment because
It's
you're not
very,
listening to the thoughts and
I,
you're go ahead, go ahead.
I guess the new term would be it's very demure, very mindful.
Yes.
But okay, so I does that mean, so I want you to answer this because most people have the imagery of the teacher or the guru and they're thinking like they are perfect. And so we're going to talk about that one guru that was riding a motorcycle and like the actual everyday living in this world present as a teacher or a sage or a guru. Um, a lot of things are not recorded like after they're recording. You know, a lot of things are not shown behind the scenes of what they're eating. Are they having sex? Are they, you know, I'm serious. Like, this is serious stuff. This is serious for me. I feel like a lot of things are not, they're only portrayed on a certain level of your highnessness, you know, and
Mm,
it's not, it's not really reality. It's just what they want to show you, you know, and because we are awakened and we are sages and teachers and masters, I really want people to understand that, um, yeah, you do live. You don't just walk around in nature and just, yeah, you're always present. You're always present, but you also have to um, live in this human vessel.
yes, you live in this human vessel, right? But you no longer like identify as like God being separate. You know that God's being is
Yes,
your being. You know that you are basically God in flesh.
and conversations become different with people. It's like, um, for speaking for me, like going out into the world and speaking to people, it's like I don't want to entertain the speaking to people because it's not a conscious conversation, you know.
Yes.
So I feel like, it's not that you have to wear white and you have to yoga. I feel like things just start to shift for you, like kind of like with your dreadlocks. Like it's like society. Who cares what society thinks, and you're gonna do what feels good for you to do.
Yeah. Yes.
But yes,
And that is a big part
they
of it,
sages
especially.
have sex.
Yeah.
Sages eat meat.
Yeah.
Sages cuss.
Yes.
Some sages might fight you. You
Yes.
know, like I this is the truth. This is the reality of it. And it's not, you know, I don't think feel like it's being portrayed as that. It's being
Mm,
portrayed as something like you're so perfect that, you know, it's not that you're so perfect, it's that you're letting go of stuff that comes up because you know who you are.
right.
You're not attached to that. You're like, okay, this comes up in my dream. Okay, let me go ahead and let that go.
Right. And the guru you was talking about is Sat Guru. You know, he was talk. He was having an interview, and at the end of the interview, Sadhguru was like, "Wait a minute, I'll be back and pick you up, and we'll go in town." So the guy was sitting there thinking, you know, he has the painted image of him of the guru. Also, he's supposed to be drove around, or people walk with him and do the guru thing. But Sadhguru pulled up in a motorcycle, broom, 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 right? And the guy's like, "Oh my gosh." And so Guru's like, yeah, people, all beings, they paint this image of how the guru's supposed to be. And he's like, hop on the back. So the guy hopped on the back and boom, he took off, you know, and you know, it all gurus, conscious beings, they have their lives. Just like me and my beloved, we have our lives, you know.
That's what I'm pointing to right there. Like
Yeah,
it's not.
it's totally
Yes,
okay. Yeah, it's totally okay because you don't really think about it anymore. I'm just this person. No, you're the truth. It changes you. It's not like this person becomes enlightened and the person changes. No, that that imagery, you kind of you drop it, not kind of, but you do it. It drops and it drops on its own, and this natural detachment, but this pure love shines at the same time. But you're just not attached to worldly things anymore. You
that's
still
true. But that
do.
does not mean that
You,
I can't slap you because
right, right.
that could be love.
Right. You still
You
do
know,
worldly things. You still go out and do what we call worldly things. But you know everything is divine. Going to the bathroom is divine. You know, it's all divine. It's all,
making breakfast is divine. Doing
yeah,
dishes is a form of meditation, actually.
right. And realizing that little piece right there by, oh my gosh, everything that I do is divine. That's like liberation right there.
Hmm.
You know, and you don't, nobody wants to go out and do crazy bad stuff and be murderers or rapists and stupid stuff like that. They don't want to do any of that stuff because the truth will change you, and it's for the good. Basically, it's for the light. But like you were saying, nature is not always nice, honey, and we notice. This is what we say. You know, you're going to have times where you get upset. You're going to have times where you have disagreements with other beings. This is just the play of life, but it is God's play of life. It is God's dream. This is the difference. Instead of, I am this person living this life, I'm suffering, I'm having a bad time in life. No, all that changes. When the being actually goes through something again in life that's kind of messed up, it's kind of like, okay, this is just how God wants it to be. You know, I'll work my way back out of it. And you work your way back out of it in strength. It builds you, it makes you stronger. You see that?
Hmm.
Because you actually let go and you're not attached to the suffering. You're not
Right.
attached to it anymore. You realize, okay, just like the other day I got bit by a bee, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, you're okay." I'm like, "It's just a body. The body got bit. Yes, it's found fire right now, but it's just a body. You know, that's just what happened to the body. But it's not happening to the awareness in which I am naturally and divinely. And this
Right.
is what we're pointing to. So
Yes, I agree 100%. And I just want people to understand that you can be in your darkness and still be holy.
yes,
You can be in a place of shat and suffering and still be holy.
yes, that truth will bring you back every time.
Yes. You can be in a place of suffering and still be holy, and you can be in a place of freedom and be holy. Both are okay, but you don't want to stay there. When you're awakened, you know. But when you're not awakened yet, I want you guys to understand that both are holy.
Hmm.
Both states of mind are holy, and both states of not mind are necessary, because I feel like if you don't go through a dark, we're all born out of darkness, right? But I feel like if you don't have any um, experiences where they've been dark, it's really hard for you to grow and to shift into lightness and to feel what it feels like to feel love and freedom. You know?
Yes, and that right there, just for what you said, you know, you come from darkness, right? But we've been conditioning. We've been conditioned to think that darkness is not good. You see that, but it's not true. You know, that's deep conditioning. Oh, dark. You know, you going through dark stuff is. It's just to make you stronger. It's to bring you
Right.
out and make you stronger.
It's for growth.
It's for growth.
It's
Yes.
to bring you back home.
Yes.
It's really to bring you back home,
Yes.
because that's what we're all here for, is to remember who we are.
And see that to bring you back home. To bring you back home means to bring you back to peace and humbleness
Yes.
and freedom that you naturally are. You know, there's you going somebody that's going through immense trauma in their lives, right? And they get to the point, I can't take this anymore, right? There's a pause. There's a pause right there, and then you release it. Like, I let this go. Whatever you was going through that brought so much trauma to the max. and you were finally like, I have to let this go, and you let it go, and you feel that weight lifted off of your shoulders. You see that? And sometimes beings have to go through that trauma, you know what I mean, in order to say, I have to let this go. And then once you let it go, you can go, oh man, I can let anything go that I want to that doesn't serve me. You see that? Anything that really doesn't serve me, I can let that go. And sometimes beings have to experience that heavy darkness that we're conditioned to believe in ourselves, but it can be let go. And you can stay in this state of just freedom, basically, a state of peace. And if you go out of that state of peace, you know that you can always come back. You see, and
Absolutely.
that's the dance. That's the play of life
That's the
in both
beautiful dance of
nature
duality.
and human. Yeah. Yeah.
And not saying that you're not going to have mind attacks, because there's a lot of teachers and pointers and sages that will say, oh, no, never me. I am, and that's not true. That's not
No,
true either. The truth is,
no.
everybody has mind attacks.
Yeah.
Everybody is fighting with their thoughts on a daily basis. But to recognize those thoughts as not being real,
Yeah.
and that they are just thoughts, they're not manifested, they're not here, they're not reality, they're not in the present moment, they're just thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is another thing too. We can maybe talk about that another time. But everybody experiences mind attacks. I feel like unless you are like totally surrendered, like Ramana, and you're like
Yeah.
way off in a cave, and there's no
Yeah.
phones, and it's how long ago? 500 years ago, 400 years ago, and there's nothing to where you can just be out in the middle of nothing. I think that's where there's no mind attacks. But I feel like living in today's society, that we're conditioned to think about things. We're conditioned and programmed to think about, oh my gosh, what's next, 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 next. um that
Yes.
it does arise in all of us, even though we are awakened, we know who we are. It does arise in every single sage, master. It's just the art of letting it go and knowing that it's an illusion.
Right. Because most sage and most gurus, they have to deal with a lot of different mindsets, meaning a lot of different personalities, right? So some can be frustrating, you know. But the guru, he stands strong, of course. But these things happen, just like you were saying. The mind attacks come, you know, but they also leave.
Yes.
And that's the great part about it, is recognizing that these different things that do happen, they just they pass, you know. And that's the part about it where liberation comes into play, is that you allow these thoughts, these emotions to pass, these mind attacks to pass, and you remain as yourself. That's the dance of duality, like you were saying, love.
Ooh, beautiful. Well, that was beautiful. And I'm grateful for you and all of your pointings. You are amazing. And I'm grateful that you just don't I can be myself fully. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna slap somebody, right? I'm just saying that if that was to arise, it's not looked upon like, oh my gosh, girl, you're awakened. Don't do that. It's like, no, you did that. Okay. So it's like, I appreciate you for just your divine expression in the uh masculine aspect, your divine masculine. And
Yeah.
yeah, with that, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and get on to next uh our next topic. And please leave a comment in the video, and make sure you thumbs up this video as well.
Yes, indeed. Thank you all. Um,
We love you.